This is Dr. Flight. Hope you're doing great today. This is going to be a video that will help walk through and just offer some insight regarding our stage 3 portion of our course project. Now you'll recall that up to this point you've created or you've identified a company, you've identified the product category that your company competes in, that you're going to focus on. You've also done a situational analysis of that industry and a market analysis, which would focus on the customers, the people who purchase and buy in that product category. And if done properly, you've also identified some significant or relevant market segments within the generic market for your product category as well. Now, Stage 2 is very non-company specific in the sense that Stage 2 doesn't really involve a hard focus of your company per se, but rather the industry in which your company participates in. So it's an industry analysis focused on the product category that you're going to deal with and that you're going to focus on further on in the project itself. As we move to stage 3, however, now our shift or our emphasis is placed solely on the company that you've chosen. So what we want to do is basically two things. One, we want to assess the company based on its strengths and probably its weaknesses. So the S and the O portions of the SWOT analysis, if you want to use that model. And we want to do something that's, it's called resource analysis, or it's based on the resource-based theory of the firm, which is a theory and a point of company development, if you will. And basically the idea is we look at what makes the company distinctive based on its resources or strengths or skill sets, really. If you think about, like, how is the company able to be successful? What makes them successful? It's usually a set of skills or resources. And this could be whether it's human resources, whether it's some technology they have. Maybe they have great relationships with suppliers and distributors. Maybe they have large financial resources that they can leverage in order to gain market advantages. And so the whole idea is something called a sustainable competitive advantage, an SCA. And having a sustainable competitive advantage is based on the skills and the resources the company can leverage to set them apart from their competitors. Okay, so that's this first part of this stage deals with you identifying what those are and explaining how they're able to take resources they have or skills they have and gain advantages, sales, market position, market share, and things like that in the marketplace. What helps them set themselves apart from everybody else? The other part of this is, as you're looking internally within the firm, one of the keys to creating a new product concept is understanding the products the company already offers. So the second part of this is to create what we call a product portfolio, which is a list or a chart, an organizational piece that identifies what products they offer and how those products are organized within the firm. And again, if you choose a company that has lots and lots of different product categories, this could be really unwieldy and it can get out of hand quickly. So you're going to want to focus specifically on the product categories in the area that you're going to create a new product. I'll throw out a company out there, Microsoft, or rather Apple, I guess. Apple has phones. They also have listening devices. I don't think the iPod exists anymore, but they used to have that. They have computers. They have tablets. And then they have accessories. And they have software. So there's probably 3 or 4 pretty large product categories they compete in. But realistically, your new product, if it were an Apple product, would be inside one of these areas. So if you create a product chart, their product chart isn't really huge, but if you were to kind of create a product chart and your new product was an app that you're going to use on a phone and or tablet, you may consider not including computers in this product chart. Even though Apple produces computers, really doesn't have anything to do with maybe the product, the app that you're going to create. And so you might consider scaling down the size of the portfolio to the areas that would impact you. Another company, Nike. Nike has all kinds of different shoes. They have obviously apparel. They probably have other products out there as well. Do you need to list all the different types of shoes they offer? You know, from tennis shoes to badminton equipment, to weightlifting equipment, to basketball shoes, and so on and so forth. Well, again, that chart would be enormous. And you probably don't need an enormous chart to understand the product portfolio of your product that you're going to create. So I say that, you know, we want to create a product portfolio, but you have to use a little common sense, but, you know, kind of feel your way through what makes sense for your particular company. Okay. And again, reach out to me and talk to me. Ask questions if you have questions about how that looks for your portfolio and your company. Okay, so two parts again to the stage number 3. Let's look just a little bit at some of the elements here. One, I wanted to offer you a glimpse at what we might look at or might call a product array chart. And so this is an example of a product array chart. This is a scaled down, smaller one for Procter & Gamble. Procter & Gamble has literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of products, thousands of products across many, many, many different product categories. So this is just a snippet of what they offer in the area of laundry detergent or laundry cleaning materials, if you will. And so if we look at the very top, you see product mix, and across going left to right, product mix would include product categories. And here we have what's called SBU, SB2, SBU3, SBU4. So the SBUs, those stands for Strategic Business Units. Okay, and this is how the company is organized. Now they organize themselves by brand. Each company does things a little bit differently. They don't all organize themselves by brand. Many times they organize themselves by exactly what the products offer. It could be if you're doing Coach, it could be handbags, it could be belts and accessories, it could be sunglasses. You know, you could have lines of products that fall under each one of those categories. The way Procter & Gamble does it is typically they organize themselves by brand. So we have the Mr. Clean brand, the Tide brand, the Downy brand, and the Febreze brand. So this is the across portion, or what we call the product mix. Sometimes people call this whole thing a mix, but it's really a portfolio. And then going down, up and down, we have what we call the product line. And those would be all the individual products that are under the strategic business unit. Okay, so, and again, this company organizes themselves by brand. So if we do Mr. Clean, what we would do is we'd list all of Mr. Clean's products. And this could be extensive. It could be very, very long. That tells you what type of strategy they're using. They're using probably a full line strategy if the line is very, very long versus a short or condensed limited line strategy. When you create your new product for your company, what you're going to want to do is identify where that new product will fall inside their array. Okay, so this is a key component of this project that you understand and know. When you create a new product, you're going to assign it a position inside the larger product array. Okay, so that's just kind of one of these ideas, one of these concepts we have to know. You might not have ever seen or been exposed to this concept of a product array or product portfolio chart, but this is a good time for you to know this and understand this and kind of learn from it, if you will. Okay, so there are all kinds of different strategies we can do. Your textbook should outline those. Again, as you're developing a new product, you want to know what type of strategy the company is using, and kind of be able to explain why this product you're suggesting will enhance their product portfolio and how it will do this. The other thing that this chart actually helps do is when you introduce a new product, it helps you identify where there will be cannibalizations and or where complements might come into play. So this particular one, if we had Tide, for instance, that's a detergent for laundry. If we added a new type of detergent under this SBU, so again, this is Tide, then if we added a new detergent, it would probably cannibalize sales from another Tide detergent that we already have. So there's an effect there of introducing this new product. It has a negative effect on existing products. Now, when you take the new product sales and even calculate the old product's cannibalization, companies often finish ahead. They end up making more money and more revenue, have more sales by adding that product. And so what we look at is that net difference to understand not only the effect of cannibalization, but the positive impact that that new product will have overall. The other thing that we do is we look across here and we have Tide detergents, but then we have Downy, and now Downy is typically used as a fabric softener that you would use in conjunction with or in addition to the detergent that you're already using. So in this case, if we added something to Downy, then while it might cannibalize some sales, it would also go with other products like the Tide detergent. So it would complement the other products that we have. So if you bought the detergent, you might also be inclined to buy a Downy product that goes with the detergent. And as a result, Procter & Gamble will experience greater revenue again because you're buying more products from them. So that's basically the idea. The product portfolio chart, it puts in one place the revenue streams that the company has, and you're able to look at them from a holistic perspective and chart strategy based on that. So that's one reason why we're doing this. It's a super important kind of concept, if you will. And again, that's part of stage 3, the product portfolio portion of that. The first part I was talking about in terms of the resources, kind of the internal structure of the company is important too. So again, this stage has these two different components, but when we talk about the term resources, it's a term that's used a few different ways, and in marketing we have again this thing called resource-based theory of the firm. And what we're really getting to is what are its core competencies? What does the firm do well? Those are resources. Then second, what we want to do is take what we do well and compare those skill sets, if you will, to our competitors. And when we compete, the way we compete in a marketplace is by distinguishing ourselves from our competitors on key aspects that the customer finds important. That's vitally important. It is incredibly essential that we understand, that we know that as a level of, kind of how we compete, how competition happens, why one company succeeds and another doesn't. Oftentimes it's a differentiation of skill sets. One firm does something really well that the other firm doesn't, and the customers will pay for that. So that's this idea, distinctive capabilities, and then extending that into gaining those marketplace advantages. over time is what we call a sustainable competitive advantage. So we actually, CMOs, presidents, investors, we always look at, what is this company doing to set itself apart? You watch the TV show Shark Tank, a lot of times the questions the sharks ask are what sets you apart? What are your competitors doing? Why should a customer buy your product as opposed to a competitor's product? And is that sustainable? Is that something that can be held over a long period of time? Can you protect this niche that you've created or this advantage that you've created? Okay, so this is this idea of firm resources. And again, stage 3 is this internal view or window into the company. We want to know why they succeed, what they need in order to succeed, and if that's something that's maintainable. Now, there's also a lot of other, you can search this information for additional kind of examples of these resources or these skill sets that are there. I'll just say, this screen here, if you're watching and you pause it, you're welcome to do so. These skill sets or resources come typically from 6 different areas or spaces: physical, financial, legal, organizational, relational, and their ability to gather and interpret and act on information. So again, I can offer more information on this if you are struggling to identify what your firm's resources or skill sets are. But just kind of know that that's there. The other thing is there's a test that we use to tell whether something's a resource or not. And this has been duplicated in a couple different ways. I'll show you this one first. It's just rare if the item, the skill, it does not exist everywhere. If it has come at a cost, or there's if valuable suggests that it's not easily attained for free, or something like that. Imperfectly imitable means it can't be copied. It can't be copied or duplicated, and then it also can't be substituted for. The other way you've seen this, or you might have seen this, is something called the VRIO framework or model. It's the same concept. It's a way that we, again, test whether a skill is going to lead to a sustainable competitive advantage for a specific company. Okay, so these are some tools that you should utilize in your paper and your project. Think about the framework of a resource. You can use the VRIO framework if you'd like to, and explain this company has these resources. This is why. These are resources and skill sets that set them apart. The VRIO model works quite well. This is a model that you might have seen in a management class. They tend to use this model more so, which is perfectly fine. It's good. And then again, the other thing you need to do on this stage is going to be create that product portfolio. Okay, now again, stage 4, moving forward, you'll actually create the product concept, but you can start looking at that product portfolio and thinking about where your new product's going to be in the portfolio and whether it makes sense, whether it's going to cannibalize other products, whether it's going to be complementary, and so on and so forth. Okay, so again, this is stage 3, and this each of the stages are vitally important to charting a new path of a product. And also, though, this is something that you'd see probably would see in either a business plan or a marketing plan. Again, the plan and the project we're doing simulates a marketing plan for a new product. That's what this is. So this would be very, very useful. I would also argue that if you are in the job market, if you're looking to have a career, and you're interviewing and things like that, if you did this stage for the company that you are interviewing with, then you will be armed with an incredible amount of knowledge to really succeed well in the interview. It will help you become an expert in the company, while you're in the interview process, and it'll help you understand kind of where their growth models are, what they're looking to do strategically from a revenue stream perspective. There's so many things that this stage will actually benefit you from if you are doing this. And again, if you're ever interviewing with a company, I would strongly suggest you do this type of activity to help prepare yourself. All right, so let me know if you have any questions. Hope you're doing great. Talk to you soon.